I think I was kind of the catalyst for why Kratom exploded in this country. When I made the movie A Leaf of Faith, I was on Joe Rogan's podcast talking about Kratom.
Yeah, you were on Rogan's podcast, what, like 3 times?
I think 4.
4 times.
And I was a huge proponent of Kratom.
By the way, quick side note, I was telling your brother, I was laughing my ass off when he was talking about his kale salads. And you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Have a T-bone, pussy.
Yeah.
That was so funny. He's like, what? I feel great with my kale shakes.
Yeah, so...
it's funny, the evolution.
Yeah, you know? And so Rogan was instrumental in actually keeping Kratom legal. This is pretty insane, but...
really?
Yeah, so when I was making the movie, I had become friendly with Joe from the UFC, from being on his podcast. Mm-hmm. And then he invited us to go to like a UFC. And so I like went to this UFC and I saw him there and like chatted with him and whatever. And I told him like, hey man, they're gonna like ban Kratom, like literally in a couple of days. Can you mention this on your podcast? And he's like, oh yeah, sure. Why don't you come in? Like, come in on this date. I'm like, come in? You want me to be on your podcast again? He goes, yeah, he's like, we'll just do like an emergency podcast and we'll talk about the Kratom problem. If I can help, that's great. And so I went in there and I talked about it and I basically told everything I know. I mean, this is a natural plant. Mm-hmm. And this is before they've made all these Kratom extracts and all these really high potency Kratom products. Mm-hmm. This was just like simple like leaf Kratom, you know, a ground up leaf. And if anybody doesn't know what Kratom is, it's basically a plant from Southeast Asia that's in the same family as the coffee family. And it is a mild opioid that will make you feel really good. But if you take a lot of it over a long period of time, it will become addictive, just like anything else. Habit forming. It's hard to get off of if you're taking a lot of it. But we've always saw that like, hey, if you keep it under like 10 grams a day, you'll never have a problem. Like it's not going to be, I mean, I shouldn't say never, but for the most part, if you keep it under a certain amount a day, you're not going to have a problem. And what the problem is, people start making, you know, all these concoctions where they're taking 50 milligrams of Kratom, 100 milligrams of Kratom, becomes very addictive, right? But back to what I was saying with Joe is that I went on the podcast and I said, listen, the DEA is going to schedule this as a drug unless we can get like 25,000, I think it was 10,000. If we can get 10,000 signatures, you know, not even signatures, like you had to like write like a short email to the DEA.
Right.
If you write a short email to the DEA saying they should keep Kratom legal, you know, say something like, hey, Kratom helped my brother's back problem. Kratom helped me, you know, get through school. Kratom helped me with it. Tell them why, in an honest way, it helped you.
Yeah.
Or even tell them why you don't think it should be legal. I don't care what you tell them. Just tell them something, because if they get more than 10,000 comments, they have to read them all. And if they have to read them all, most likely they'll just back down because they're not going to want to read them all. And so the next day, we went and checked the website, and there was like 28,000 people that sent emails.
No way.
Yeah, into the DEA to say, hey, we should keep Kratom legal. We should keep looking at it. The problem with Kratom is the same problem we have with weed in this country. Is like, you know, Kratom used to be this wholesome plant that was, you know, did so much good for so many people, but then they start making extracts, they start making concentrates. They are now taking alkaloids of Kratom and separating them out and making really super concentrated forms of Kratom, which I'm not against. What I'm against is that they sell them in smoke shops and they don't tell people how addictive they can be.
Right.
They're not educating people on them. There might be a reason for me to do another documentary that would follow up A Leaf of Faith, which is my documentary on Kratom, to sort of really just educate people about it so that we don't get ourselves into another opioid epidemic. Because I do believe that this new product, it's called 7-OH or 7-hydroxymetragenine. It's an alkaloid of Kratom. I believe
7-hydroxymetragenine.
Yes. You can buy it at any smoke shop. You walk into a smoke shop or even gas stations now, you'll see tons of it everywhere. And the problem is people are spending, you know, it's expensive. It's like on average for 5 tablets, it's like $35. So it's like $7 a tablet. People are taking 5 tablets at once. You know, they're taking it all at once and
What's the effect?
It'll get you high like an Oxycontin.
Okay.
But But if you take it in like a lower dose, just a normal dose, it'll kill pain like crazy. So that's where I'm coming in saying like, well, you're not supposed to take the whole damn package.
Right.
But like, I can't control that. And so in order to control, and the companies that are coming out, they're coming out and they're called Opia, or they're called Pressed, or they're called, Blues. They have these names that sound like drugs.
Right.
And when I have names that sound like drugs, it can turn people off. It's sort of telling you like, hey man, you're buying a drug.
Yeah.
And if we want to make this a potent painkiller that can really help people, there needs to be some sort of process or some sort of, way to do that. So I'm actually talking to some people about possibly doing another documentary about Kratom, because I do think it can really help a lot of people, but there needs to be education on it. And I've taken Kratom. Some people will say, actually, even when I was in rehab, after I got out of rehab, I was supposed to go speak at an AA meeting, and they didn't want me to speak because at the time I was taking Kratom. And I had been talking about it. I had talked about it on Joe Rogan, and they're like, oh, we don't, and I'm like, you don't think I'm sober? I'm like, I take Kratom for pain.
Yeah.
And I think people have such a hard time deciphering the fact that like you're in physical pain, and they don't care though. They just go Kratom bad,
Right.
And I think we need to stop putting substances in these good or bad categories.
It's crazy because
they
Kratom,
just are,
Kratom is no more dangerous than caffeine. Like when's the last, I don't know if you're a coffee drinker, but I don't remember the last time I went a day without drinking a cup of coffee.
Yeah, I drink coffee all the time.
It's been maybe 2 days in the last 5 years I haven't drank a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
It's as like, I had Hamilton Morrison here recently. He was like a chemist.
Yeah, I love
person.
him. Yeah,
and he was explaining that to me. He was like, I don't think Kratom is any different than caffeine. He's like, if you enjoy Kratom and you want to have a couple cups of Kratom or pills of Kratom every day, it's like, there's no studies or scientific papers that show it's any more dangerous than caffeine. It doesn't kill anymore. It doesn't kill people. It's just like, if it's useful to you, then take it. The difference is the stigma that's attached to it, or, the different types of pharmaceutical companies that have been known to demonize certain drugs because it's not good for business.
Yeah. I would say that the only thing with Kratom that I just warn people about, because I've been through it, is it can be addictive. And getting off
so can
of it,
caffeine.
Yeah. And getting off of it just like is not fun. So I had to, when I was told you I was taking, at one point I got to taking these extracts, and I would take several extracts a day. And when I was coming off of them, I was just using capsules to come off. And so I would take one day I would take 5 capsules twice a day. Then I'd take 3 capsules twice a day. Then I would taper down, and my girlfriend helped me taper down off of it. And I told her like, hey, this is what's going on. I'm trying to get off of this. Because I just wanted to like reset my body and be off everything. And I must have went through a good 5 or 6 days that were really, really rough days. And so I just want to tell people like, you might go through some tough days. Get yourself some magnesium, get yourself a bunch of vitamin C.
Oh, okay.
And then the bigger problem with coming off of daily Kratom use, I think if you're not using it daily, I don't think you're going to develop a problem.
I drink these every day.
I don't think you're going to develop a problem with those being such a low dose.
And this is an extract.
Yeah, I know White Rabbit. They're great.
Yeah, they're fucking delicious too.
Yeah, they taste really good.
Mitragina speciosa extract.
Yeah, I've actually talked to that company a couple times. I should probably do something.
I
with
drink.
them 'cause they're cool.
I drink one of those every day except for the weekends.
Did Mark send you some of those new brews? Those are good too. The
He
Kava.
did. He did, and he
Kava.
sent me the Mind Bullet gummies too. The gummies.
New
are good
brews
too.
are a little bit weird at first. They're like, at first I was like, oh, I don't like this, and then after a while, I really like the taste of them, and I like what they do. They feel good.
I notice. I know you can drink like more than one of these White Rabbits, and it's supposed to be like, it even says on here, it says drink one of them and it's like a lightning bolt of energy. Drink 2 of them, you're on the couch.
Yeah.
I never drink 2 in a day. I only drink 1 because it's like a mild stimulant, but it's also like calming, right? So it's not like I'm like super jittery like if I drink a Red Bull. But sometimes I notice myself, like if it's a Saturday and I haven't drank one in a day, I'll be like, man, I could go for a White Rabbit right now.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, just because I knew that popped into my head, I should go maybe 2 extra days without drinking one.
Well, and that's what I'm saying is like, if you do that, you're going to be fine. The problem is when they'll take Kratom capsules, they'll drink 2 of those, and then it's like piling up. And then it's like, I just want to be sure that we're not telling people to take something that can hurt them, because like if you're not taking Kratom right now, don't get in. If you don't need it, don't get into it. But if you're in pain, or you need or even if you just want a little bit of bounce of energy, it is great. Take it once in a while, use it once in a while, but use it like responsibly. People tend to take that and say, well, he said I could use it every day,
Right.
And we didn't,
Yeah. What did the Mayo Clinic say about Kratom? To say something about them being dangerous? Are you aware of that?
No.
Oh.
Like recently?
Yeah, I don't know. I heard that the Mayo Clinic was saying that Kratom was dangerous.
There's all sorts of things saying it's dangerous. Like there's all sorts of people trying to ban it. It happens all the time. But I think the reason that they are trying to ban it is because
what is this, Steve?
Unsafe and ineffective.
Who's this from? Oh, this is a Mayo Clinic website.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just can't believe that. When it says it's ineffective.
Users swear by Kratom for lifting mood and boosting energy, but there are many safety issues to question about whether Kratom works.
See where at the top it says unsafe and ineffective.
Right.
It's the same thing they did with steroids. They would say, oh, they don't work.
Right. Oh, look, what does that say? Kratom is a herbal extract that comes from the leaves, an evergreen tree called Mitragyna speciosa. That's what it says on the can. So that's just like the scientific name for Kratom. So why are they saying it's unsafe?
Side effects and
weight
concerns.
loss. Kratom is known for side effects including weight loss, dry mouth, nausea and vomiting, constipation, liver damage, muscle pain, high blood pressure. Okay, so 1/10 of the pharmaceutical products they advertise on every single football game on TV.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, if you look at this list.
Occasional pregnancy.
See at the bottom it says Kratom products have been linked to a small number of deaths. Well, when I did my movie, I went and I scoped out every single death. There was like 44 at the time. There was one guy.
44 Kratom deaths? Oh no, steroid deaths.
No, this is the Kratom movie.
Oh, okay.
So my movie, A Leaf of Faith, which is about Kratom.
Got it.
Which is actually available on YouTube if anybody wants to see it. I think you can probably find it easiest on YouTube. But in A Leaf of Faith, I went through and I looked, and I actually had a medical researcher that I was working with. We went through all the deaths and we sort of vetted them all and said like, okay, let's see. This guy had 10 drugs in his system. This guy, and we vetted them all. And there was one guy who was a 28-year-old police officer from New York State who died officially from ingesting Kratom. But you know why? He was dry scooping it and he choked on it and died. That's what he died from. And so it's like when you look at that and you go, well, okay, that's a Kratom death, it counts, but that's like somebody falling down the stairs and dying and saying that your house killed him.
Right, yeah. Holy shit. I had one guy on this podcast once, remember? I forget the dude's name. He was dry scooping Kratom right before we started the show. He was, not only that, I think he had capsules. He had a Kratom drink, like his own custom Kratom drink that he mixed together himself. And right before we hit record, he's like, hold on. Dry scoop, 2 giant scoops of Kratom. I'm like, holy
Who did that?
Shit. We don't need to cut that out.
That was nobody.
We don't want to sell him out, but let's, I
just want to see it.
Yeah. No, he did it right
camera?
before we started.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, like, that's a lot, bro. I don't know what would happen to me if I
God bless
took
that guy
much.
Because the Kratom is what they call hydrophobic. So you can't mix it in water. It's like cinnamon. When you try to mix cinnamon into your Starbucks, you ever notice like it won't mix? Things are either fat soluble or they're water soluble.
Maybe it was tea he was drinking or something, but he had some sort of Kratom drink.
You can mix it up enough to make it kind of mix in, but it's always sludgy. It's always gross.
Right.
There are a couple companies, like I have a friend that has a company called Happy Hippo, and I know Happy Hippo is like, I don't know how well it works, but they've made some micronized Kratom that you can dissolve. They also make Kratom, what do you call it, like pouches. Yeah, they make Kratom pouches that are pretty good, but I think if they were a little stronger, they'd be better.
Yeah.
But it's just another cool idea, It's like put a little Kratom in a pouch, and But yeah, I think that the delivery methods definitely for Kratom need to be improved, because Kratom itself is just like, it's hard to take. That's why people take it in capsules, because it doesn't mix in water.